Hello, everyone. So I just got out the shower, and I watched itowngameplay's video about bringing the dark internet back to light, basically. Now, the dark internet, that I've played the dark internet on my channel, even as a child. So this is a childhood game that I've played. Okay. But I've kept a secret of something, and I'd like to admit. I, well, it's not really. It is kind of a fucking secret because, anyways, I wanted to make a game inspired by the dark internet, and it was called Behind the Screen. Though inspired by the dark internet, it is clearly nothing like the dark internet. Okay, so I'm gonna explain a few flaws with this. Is that Behind the Screen is even though it's like dark web kind of stuff like that, and that's kind of what the dark internet is, though not really. There's a bunch of differences. So, the dark internet seems to be of a meme game because he's like a evil YouTuber. And the evil YouTuber, I researched that a long time ago, and supposedly it's because of he would roleplay as an evil traitor inside of the Saw games, or he would just roleplay as, like, evil guy in these video games. And so that's the first difference. My game with the dark internet, I mean, not the fucking dark internet, it's the behind the screen. So the flaw with my game is that basically it's trauma related. So this will also drag me into why the hell do my channel have a fursona? And so I'll need to talk about that later. So his game is more like a witchcraft, kind of like a witchcraft with the zombie cats and the Ouija board. As far as my game goes, is about, purely the dark internet, purely the dark web, purely hitman, purely hacker. So, and another flaw is clearly, which you could already just see this just by looking at it, is that my game is based on a fursona. Now I'll need to talk about that later, but the puzzles are also different in my game, and in his game you have to unlock a door. So in my game you have to unlock an office as well, but you have to also focus on other things, like for example, you could focus on a phone, you can focus on the shotgun in his game. But in my game, you have to focus on so many multiple different things at once. So there's going to be planned to be a puzzle, right, of my childhood phones. And though if you've been on my channel for a while when I was a kid, my childhood phones are about 9 phones. There's 9 phones in total. And so you have to hack those phones in order to get the right one. And of course, just like his game with the plussies, right? And the colors on the door, there are different phones that are the right phone. And once you find the right phone, you then have to hack into his private server or something, or get a code or something. It hasn't fully been drawn out. But here's another thing. So itown's game, it seems to be, coming first, maybe. This is just the clueless timeline. And so my game is planned to come out in around 2027. Or maybe even later, because my game is going to be such of a bigger game, and there's going to be so much different. Like, for example, the house. So his house in the game, or his map in the game, is a very small house. And it has, like, holes in the walls and corners and stuff that you can crawl in through and out. My game is, my house in the game, right, is basically a 2-story, big suburban house, but not like a mansion. So, but also the basement, instead of there being a game room like in itown's game, right, there's also going to be there's in my game it's a maze. It's like a gory maze. So see, there's a different tone in my game versus his game, which I think I've already pointed that out. And so here's another thing that I'm gonna need to set back, right? Or well. And so me and a friend wanted to make a surprise for itown. Actually, we wanted to make a Dark Internet remake, and this Dark Internet remake had a or like wanted to be like we wanted it to be like, you know, the girl in the comic that he killed at the start of the game. What if you played as her? What if you had to escape itown rather than going into itown's house and then going to the office? So that game, that remake fan game, has to be drawn back, since the game's title is in itown's hands, or back into itown's hands. And since that happened, we can't really do that. So I have to keep focus on my game. And with itown, the situation, which is something that I'm going to need to consider myself into as a developer. So what he says is the reason why the game got taken down in the first place was because it was out of date of policy or something. He says that, you know, in mobile games you have to constantly update the policies, or you have to constantly update something. I'm not sure, but that's something that I'm going to need to consider as a developer myself, since my game is going to come out for Android and PC. So another thing is unlike the mobile version of the Dark Internet, he plans to put a price tag on this game, and that is about $5.99 from what I've heard. And my game is planning to be free to play on all platforms, so that could cause some conflict of us as well. Now, if I need to put a price tag onto my game, it's going to probably be about the same price, which is $6.99 or $5.99, and so, you know, that is just to avoid something. But I want to, you know, at least try to experiment with this game being free. And so I'm trying to think of stuff else to talk about. Something else to talk about, because I know there are a few other things that I need to talk about. So, I already have 3D modelers for my game, and these modelers are for like they come from VR chat. They come from VR chat, so that means that this is some high quality stuff. though that doesn't really matter or tie in with me and Itown. Now, I need to think of something else too. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. So, oh yeah, another thing, right? Is so itown, his killer or his character is like, you know, very much basic like Granny. It's like Granny, or from what he says, it's like hello neighbor. Now, basically what that means is basically it's a run and chase kind of killer. It's a find you, chase you, and then hit you with a melee weapon kind of killer. Now my killer is kind of like that too, but it's very, very, very different. So my killer is planned to be like in the hardest difficulty of the game. There's gonna be he's gonna have a gun in the hardest difficulty of the game, along with hiding in places that the player can also hide in. So there's a bunch of stuff that's gonna be different, and that's always been a plan, really. Now another thing to consider, right, is in his game, once you unlock the office, you know, a cutscene happens, and there you jump out the window. So in my game, it's different. This is another plan that was always, you know, planned. And so in my game, once you unlock the office, a cutscene doesn't actually happen. In my game, it's where you have to collect 5 USB drives in the matter of seconds. Now, seconds depends on the difficulty level of the game, but seconds, but basically, once the seconds run out, the killer will then break down the door. And so,
we went to the damn ice machine up there. A big old fucking 30-pound bag of fucking dog food was over there in the bushes.
but, I just want to call out, you know, some stuff like that. Now, let me also tell you about the history of why my fursona exists, because that also drags into the game. But in so in my game, or no, wait, fucking hell, so I'm losing train of thought.
Somebody's done got snatched it up. They didn't look for the dog food or not. They just dragged the dog and left.
So my fursona, the reason why
Then I'll go get the bag of dog food.
the reason why I have a fursona is actually a crazy story. So, in 2023, I was going through troubles with relationships and fake friends and stuff, and so there, I had a figure in my head that kind of just dragged throughout trauma and stuff, and so that figure was used for some kind of fantasies that I can't really explain on YouTube, but I will. It was not like weird fantasies. It was like really graphic, and so a femboy actually made a drawing of my face as a fursona, like a fan art. And so then that's when that character then gained into a rebirth. years after I abandoned that figure. And so that's then when this character then, became that horror character.
Yeah, but I'm fixing to come out.
So I would just like to, shed some light on me because now I also do support the Dark Internet coming back. It was one of my favorite games during childhood, and I would like to play it on my channel as I continue to play on my channel too. I would just like to, make an announcement to make because me and Itown seem to be bumping heads here, and I just want to separate us. And even though I wanted to, I wanted to keep the project a secret, my game, I wanted to keep it a secret from the channel because, just wanted it to be a surprise, but I really need to go ahead and talk about it. So, that's pretty much all I gotta say. What I'm saying is, yeah, I have similar plans as a developer, but my game is nothing different compared to his.
Ain't thunder, but it's just.
I mean, wait, hold on. My game is different from his because my brain is not, it's losing train of thought. It's completely different from his. That's what I'm saying. Even though I've had similar plans or similar experiences as a developer. Okay? That's what I'm saying. And so, I would just like to call something out. The difference. I would just like to call something out of these two games and these two plans.